Hi and welcome to another video of Dad's RC Hangar. How you doing? Excuse me. Oh my god. First of all, I need to say thanks ever so much for subscribing to this channel. I think I'm at 78. I know in the big scale of YouTube it's a small amount, but it means the world to me that you're following me make a fool of myself or fly planes or a total noob. Even it might even help you, who knows. But I've got a frog in my throat. I'll have to get him out later on. It's no good sitting in my throat. Today we are continuing build with the F9F Panther. Beautiful plane. Let's get building. Hi and welcome back. Got rid of the frog, riveted off. I just realised as well that when I introduced the video I had my heater running. It's pretty cold in the hangar today. It's cold and miserable outside, but it's fun inside. Why? Because we're going to build this sexy plane today. It's going to be in two parts for me, but one part for you. Because I need to do some bits and pieces with electronics. I'm not happy about the ESC sitting in there. It's got a nice bit of wood below there, if you can see that. I'm sure you can. And there's a lot of space. I mean, I took the bottom panel off. Where is it? It's over here. Little plastic panel that's actually probably gets stuck there if you're not using wheels, and if you are using wheels you can pull that out. So I was thinking, well, maybe I could do a little playing about access in there with electronics and stuff. So that would be in kind of part two, but it's kind of part one for you because it's one video. Yes, I think. Don't worry, we're going to build it. So there's lots of gluing to do with all the wings, the tail and the elevators and ailerons and wings and you name it's all going to be glued. Apart from obviously the canopy. Now you do get some glue with this aeroplane. Kufuta, whatever that is. But anyway, it's basically epoxy adhesive. Or could we use, or should we use, foam tack? Foam tack. No, foam tack. Now, the good thing about foam tack, it stays flexible. Even though it's bonded hard, it does stay flexible. Now, these don't have any carbon rods or anything like that to keep it a bit more sturdy. It is a small wingspan, as per se. So I don't know about the stresses, but I mean this thing whips around like a greyhound. So I really, I've been thinking before I did this video, am I going to use foam tack? Am I going to use epoxy? Now with epoxy, it hardens and it hardens hard. So if this did hit, would I actually kill it? So I think what I'll do. Oh, this is a tough decision. Maybe I should stop the video here and put a poll. Foam tack or epoxy? You choose. Boom, boom, boom. But no, I really need to tune now because I really want to get this built. I've had a couple of weeks off because I've been busy out of the hangar. But I'm dying to get in here. Now, it's pretty let's undo this. You have to undo this cable because this cable... in here, there's a little slot and a slit. Slot and a slit. Say that when you're drunk. Slot and a slit. Basically, the cable goes in there, the servo cable, and then the cable runs through the slit to keep it hidden. And I suppose I could put some tape over it afterwards. But I mean, apart from that, I mean, when you're in the slit, which is a bit of a pain in itself. Sort of thing. So if I just push that up there and you kind of try and get the cable in the slit, there you go. There's not a lot to hold that wing. There's no spars, there's no rods, carbon. It's just that. So, you get, I mean, I don't know, you get a hard landing, that's just going to go rip. So would foam tack be a better thing? Or would epoxy be a better thing, because then it's going to be sealing hard, and if it breaks then you stand a better chance. Oh dear me, I really don't, I'm stuck. I should have really thought about this before the video. but I would have thought I'd made my mind up by then. But they did give you epoxy, and not foam tack. Drop it on the plane. But it says bonds. Dries clear and fast, no foaming, stays flexible, never brittle. Excuse me. I reckon we go for foam tack. Let's go for foam tack. I've made a decision. Would it be wrong? We won't know until I start flying this beast. No, I'm making a decision. No, because basically with foam tack, okay, let me tell you about foam tack. It's awesome, but you have to glue it in there and then let it go so it kind of goes stringy. Excuse me. Rig it again and go stringy and leave it for about 2 minutes. Wait for 2 minutes. Put a 2-minute timer on. Then stick it. And as I said, it's not like anything that's going to hold the wing on. I mean, if you don't glue it, the wing just falls off. So I'm really quite surprised actually that there's nothing to hold it even when gluing. So no foam tack. That's it. I've made the decision. I'm not going to turn around and say, you know what, let's use something else. I use epoxy, which means we have to take it out of the box. That's what we've got to do, take it out of the packaging. But it means we have to spoon it together, mix it together, and I didn't read how much is what. I will pause here because see, it doesn't say, because it's all in Chinese. If it's not Chinese, it's Japanese. I apologise, but it's in some writing that I can't read. So basically A and B, but A will be a hardener and B would be the glue stuff, and you're meant to put it in certain application. Let's just see. Equal amount. Okay. Equal amount. Okay, that's a kind of different type of glue there. That's not the epoxy that I know. Normally the epoxy that I know is that you have a big blump of one and then a little blump of the hardener, mix it all together, shake it all about, do the okie-dokie, and you got yourself some glue. Sticky glue. Now I'm going to have to find somewhere or something excuse me, to mix it on, I suppose. Preparation as always, it's okay. You can grab yourself a cup of tea. It's all good. Except maybe I could, I need a little plastic box. I've got a lid. That's what I've got. I've got a spare lids. I've got lids. That's good. It's good. We're okay. It's all right. We got plastic lids. No need to panic. Okay. So we will do a splodge. Nice little splodge of Une. Oh, stinks. Okay, and we'll do a second splodge, and it's meant to be roughly the same. Bit of a yin and yang shape going on ish. So we got 2 splodges, and now we've got a splodge mixer. So anyway, while I'm mixing this, yes, thank you for following my channel and subscribing. As I say, you don't have to press the bell. You know, you can come along randomly and see if I've updated any more videos or any more builds. As I say, I've still got my winter project to do. This is not my winter project. This is something that I've been wanting for ages because it's an awesome looking plane, and it flies crazily fast. I have got some fast ones, but this one's just, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the red, yellow and blue or what, I don't know. It's just awesome. It's not a prop, it's an EDF, so it's even better. Right, I suppose that's kind of mixed up. There is a channel, and I can't remember his name, but I know one of his channels called XJet, and he has a couple of other channels, and basically he actually tells you, he's got a thing on glue, which I found quite interesting, about, you know, how you should mix it up and get it going. Excuse me, that frog is still in my throat. I thought I got rid of it. Right, okay, so as I say, hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. This will either be a big disaster or it will be okay. Ah, you know what? That is really random, you know. I reckon there was going to be a spar there because there's a little hole in the end there. Can you see that? I don't know if the lights are shining. Little hole. I wonder if they did think about putting a spar in. A carbon rod. I don't know. All I do know, it hasn't got one. Now I suppose I'm just putting this on evenly, trying to anyway. I mean, it does dry clear apparently, but you don't want, like, you know, it gooing out over the edges, do you? It looks a bit crap, especially as it's painted and I haven't got the paint that's on here. So I'm just literally going by what I think should be doing, but you know, at least you can see what I've done, and if I muck up, thank God I saw him do it. It's all good, it's all good. I can see this being gaffer tape and blue tack at the end of it, and a bit of foam tack for the fun of it. Right, I think that's kind of like all on there. I'm using most of it. I'm going to probably run it up, but the wings are the one that's going to take the most hit. I would have thought the most in the air. Oh my God! You're going to be saying to you, Chris, why didn't you stop the video and do something with your throat? Well, I don't know. Is the answer to that. I think, right, that's a nice covering in all the bits and pieces. You can't really see the glue, but. Right, now I should really put this in a cradle, in my little cradle, like that, and then I'm just going to basically stick it in, and then, oh yeah, I can feel that going, and then what I'm going to do is this actually goes in the hole, like so, and then this pushes in here nicely, like so. I don't want to get a screwdriver on that, and there you go. So I'm just gonna, there you go. See, look, there's the cable that's all pushed in. That's a nice little touch. Sitting inside here at the moment, hanging out of its air intake. I'm sure that's not where it's meant to be, but I know it's not meant to be. But that is your servo cable. Now that feels good. Now it seems to got to get this level and make sure that it seems to be okay. But this is why, I mean, as I say, it is a bit cold in the hangar, and I didn't want to start moving it about and putting electronics and all that sort of stuff while I glued it. So, you know, there's a bit of a gap at the front. You know, I'm not. That's not moan. Me moan. Never. Right, let's put that to the side. About dropping it, and we're going to get some more splodge before this does. So a nice splodge. Splodge B. Let's mix it up. Instead of AB, let's go BA. Oh, that's how we live. That's how we roll. Mix it up. Right, okay, that kind of even. I think you're meant to just mix it up until it's kind of like a milky colour. I mean, you know, we've all used epoxy, I think, before. I certainly have. Not kind of this, what kind of epoxy. So you could say, you know, what did you do today? I watched a video about glue drying, followed up by paint drying. Yeah. I was going to try and see what if I could, you know, do this first, then electronics. But I thought, you know, it's always good to see someone else gluing something, because if they make an arse job of it, then, you know, at least you know what not to do. But as I say, yeah, I think epoxy is a good idea. Foam tack, I don't know on the strength of that. Foam tack's good for sticking broken bits of foam that you come off your plane, so you don't have to trash your plane. You know, I've seen some guys that have crashed their plane, and you think, oh God, that's for the bin. Wow, they put it back together. Some foam tack, some love, bit of spray job, good as new. Absolutely friggin' awesome. There's also this. It's foam. It's made by the same company as foam tack, and it's like a foam filler, maybe it's called, something like that. I'm going to invest in some of that, and it's literally, it's like a poly filler. If anyone knows that, I don't know if it's the same over the river. pond, should I say. But it's kind of like a filler, you know, like a wall filler or something, you know, but it's a foam filler. Pretty random, awesome. And you know, you actually use it and you can make the actual plane look better than it is. I mean, I think I saw a video of a guy that used this and basically painted the foam, done the foam filler all over the plane. It lost all of its lines and everything, but it was as smooth as awesome, this. And I thought, well, I don't know why you actually want to lose your lines, because that's the outline of your plane, but I get it. And it did look friggin' awesome. See, once again, you've got another hole. Like, maybe you could, I mean, I should have thought about this, shouldn't I? I have got a spare spar. I bought some carbon fibre rods for another plane, for the Riot, I think. I had to put a bit in the towel because it was a bit bendy. After having a bit of a wrong landing. Just to straighten it up, cut a slit in the side, put the spar in, glued it in, straight as it come out of the factory. So, but yeah, I could have used that really, and I could have put a bit of spar in, couldn't I? I could have put a rod. There's no hole in the fuselage, but I could have made one. Silly man. So, you know, think about that. So if you've got in one of these, which I urge you to, because they're not expensive as planes go, and they're a whole lot of fun. You know, they come all ready to rock and roll, well, apart from the receiver. Right, I think that's all nice. This is absolutely stinks, this stuff, I must admit. Got that frog in my throat still. Right, here we go. We're going for gold. You're not even in shot. You're going, yeah, going for gold. What are you doing, Chris? Here we go. Boom. Oh, it's all sticky under there. Maybe. Okay. It's all sticky. Right, I think the glue's kind of falling out the bottom of it. Right, let's stick that in there. Before I get too excited, let's get that straightened up. Push it down. Hold it. Push it down. This is when you need 3 hands. Or a friend to help. I got no friends. No, I'm okay. I'm good. Right, here we go. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't stick it in the hole. It's always good to stick it in the hole before you get messy. Yes. Stick it in there. Give it a good tug. There we go. Nice and pushed in, and that should slide in like, yeah, so there we go. I didn't want to use any implements, tools or whatever, because you just kill the foam. Right, that is in there. I want to know why it's all sticky. I think it's kind of where it's just pouring out the edge. I think it might. Okay, this is why I'm going to do it in a couple of parts, ladies and gentlemen. It's sticky out there. I mean, I could wipe that down a bit. This one, it kind of wants to fall off. And I don't really want to put yeah. It should only take a few minutes apparently, but it's not mega warm in here. So I was wondering if I maybe should move that and sit it down on its belly, maybe put something under. Maybe I should put these sponges under it. Okay. Good thing about they come off. Try not to stick the fingers through everything. Is that? Yeah, I think that's the. Yeah, I think that's the bunny. I think that is kind of level, as per se. Now, trouble is, I think I'm going to have to leave that to dry. You have to leave that to dry, I think. Put my heater on in here, because we're going to get in a sticky mess. This is definitely not a quick build, as to say. It is, I suppose, but it's the glue, isn't it? I mean, it does dry, and it's not warm in here, so it does say, I think, I don't know, 3 minutes or something. What does it say? it said something sets in 3 to 5 minutes, so that's not long in a warmish environment. So I'm just worried that that's you know, there's nothing underneath it to hold it in place. You know, you'd think they'd have something, some prongs to stick it in to hold it in the right place, because you know, you go to fly this and it's a bit out of kilter, it's gonna be a nightmare. You know, so maybe I should have thought about this a bit more. So note to you people out there, if you're thinking of getting one of these, have a little think how you're going to stick that together. You know, I think, you know, you could get yourself some spikes, some wooden spikes, skewers. Skewers is always a good thing. Just so you know, when you skewer it first before you glue, take it out, glue it, stick it in the same hole, and then it's not going to move about like that. I mean, it shouldn't do. Famous last words. I mean, it looks like it's resting. I mean, it just wants to fall down if anything else, but it is. If I keep it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop the video. For you, it'll be a millisecond. For me, it'll be as long as it can dry. Okay, let's just turn the heater off. It's not warmed up really in here. It's still tacky. But it feels a bit solid. Now, if you can see, they're kind of good. Oh, but the light's sort of, there you go. They're kind of. I was a bit worried that these would fall out of place. I mean, that looks like it's got a bit more of a gap than that one, but it's not actually. It's probably not. It's probably just me. But it's still tacky. So, as I say, it is cold in here. I haven't been in the hangar. But what we could do is, I think that's going to have to stay overnight before I do anything. I think what we can do is glue the rest of it. So, I mean, as I say, this would be this will be split up for me anyway, not for you guys. Right, so again, you've got like little holes in the end of there. I don't know if you can see that. The little hole. Can you see that? I don't know, maybe. So you could literally put a spar through there, but you know, it's a lot of messing about, I think, so I'm not going to really worry about that. Now, what you have to make sure, or do you? There's a deeper part. I love these plastic hinges. These are really, really awesome hinges. I think I showed you before in the unboxing. But there's got to be. Let me just have a look in the instructions. I say you do get instructions. They're not too bad. Right. So where you can actually see the hinge on there is the bottom. Where you can't see the hinge is the top. Makes kind of sense, I suppose, when you think about it. So I'm going to glue these on because and I'm not going to glue it in because you've got to put the rods through the end there. Oh, sorry, put the rods through the end there. So with, you know, I'm going to leave this today. I'll glue it. I'll show you. You know, so if you want to fast forward. So we'll go back to front again with B. B is the magic number. It is so cold tonight. And then we go in A. Boom, boom. And then there's a bit of large amount actually. I didn't really need that much, but we'll mix it together. Mix it together. Now in the UK, the CAA, Civil something Authority, you need now to be registered as a RC pilot for a fixed wing or drone, and this is you need to do by the 30th of this month, which is November. And if you belong in this is the UK, if you belong to the BMFA, British Model Association, then you can do it with there. And I passed my little exam yesterday and got a certificate, and at the end of the month I'll get my pilot ID. Now the pain of it is you've got to put your pilot's ID, or is it the flying ID, one of the IDs, I'll find out, on the plane. Now that'd be pretty cool if you spray it, but apparently you're going to put it so it's somewhere. on the nose or something. What a pain in the bum that is. I mean, if they made it nice and small, you know, you could make it like the number on there, couldn't you? But anyway, that's just to kill a bit of time while I'm doing this. But yeah, it's a simple exam. It's just basically, you know, simple stuff really that you should know anyway about flying, where not to do and where to, and what to look out for, etc, etc. Now obviously it's just this surface here that you don't need the elevator, obviously, because you won't go very far. Now I'll probably, as I say, I've gone a bit too man with the old glue, but you know, at least it'll stick on. Yeah, so I'll have to find out what my pilot ID is going to be. Hopefully it'll be a pretty cool number. And maybe I could, you know, get a little stencil and spray it so it looks like the number like the planes normally have, which is an ID for the plane, really. So it's Civil Aviation Authority. There you go, Civil Aviation Authority. It'll be just like the normal planes, I guess. Oh, you could. I tell you what, I might just work a bit on that edge, because this goes inside the tail. It hasn't got a rudder, so it's a tail. Let me just stick it in there. I know you're saying, Chris, you're a waste of talent, you should be a singer. There we go. Wall thing. Okay, that's all sticky, and just basically stick it in there. Make sure that what I need to do is that the gaps for the hinges are facing down. I nearly stuck it the other way, so there you go. So the hinges are facing down. So there you go. Just put it a bit more, and then just that's it. There you go. But not much. Yeah, that's good. Right. Hopefully, I know I said I did do a lot of glue, but I don't know if I did. Maybe now this will be okay. He says. As one wing falls off. There you go, stick it all about. So hopefully I will leave it till tomorrow, tomorrow. This video will be paused, or I'll make a bit more to put it as one movie, because I can't just do one movie about sticking two wings. It'd be pretty crap. So just putting it on the stump, just on the very edge, because it sinks in, so it might give her a bit of hold. I mean, you can always put a bit more glue on it, I suppose, afterwards, you know, to get a bit of foam tack down the edges. In fact, you can't, no, because you need to pull foam tack out. So I'll shut up on that one. So this is going to be just how it's glued. Nice on the edge, just get a bit on the edge. I'm looking at this, I don't know, I should go put my new lens on, other lens. So it's a bit extreme close up, but you get what I'm doing. So that's a nice even coat. If you can see, I don't know if you can see that because I can't reach the camera to zoom in, so I'm sorry if it's not, but it's tacky. And stick that over there. I mean, you've got the nose cone to go on, and yeah, so we will still nose cone. I'll probably just put with foam tack. So just stick it in there, give it a wiggle about. Put it about a bit anyway, and just stick it in, and make sure that it's lined up, because it does move forward just a bit from the other one, and you don't want to be. That looks about good to me. In fact, I'm going to push them both to the back. No, I'm not, because one goes a bit further. Okay, fair enough. There you go. There's your tail section of the plane. Already looking sexy. See, they've got a number there, you see. So maybe that could be I could put my number there. I don't know. They recommend that you put a bit of tape for your pilot ID or flying ID here. That is still tacky, so that's going to be. It's probably going to take forever to dry because it is cold in the hangar today. So I think that is about all we're going to. The nose, I'm going to say, I'm going to do with foam tack, and then it's just this baby that I'll stick down. I'll try not to put that in the paint. In fact, I could probably stick that down now. Oh, I didn't know that. Look at that. That's the same. It didn't say that in the instructions, or does it say in the instructions? Yeah, it kind of does actually. I thought I broke it, but this piece actually comes out of here. It's to help, and it's just, it does say on the instructions actually, it's to help get the rods through. So this might even be a 3-day build. The time it's dried and everything. Because I want to stick this on. That's a pain in the bum, isn't it? Well, should I do that now? Let's have a look. Let's have a look, see. Let's get the gluey out of the way, because we don't want to start gluing everything. So on here, what it says to do is to one of these springs fits through here, like so. And it should pop out the arse over there. I can see hole. I can just see the hole. So if we prod about a bit. Oh my life. Okay. Kind of like that. So if you see, it's actually out. Well, I can't see actually. Yeah, it's just popped through there. If you can see that. Hopefully you can see it. It's just the rod that's gone through. So on the other side, you'll see why. So you can see that rod there. So I put one through. So you put half of it through, and then you stick this one, and then you've got to try and stick this one into it as well. Wow, okay. Well, that's good, but it's you've got to try and glue this at the same time. So maybe, and then you want to glue this together. Now I'll definitely foam tack this into here. So maybe it might be a good idea to foam tack the wing, sorry, the tail, rather than trying to mess about. I think a good idea would be, because I did see it with the other one, it was a bit hard, so I'm just going to prod that one through, almost to make the hole. It's the plastic here that's on the end that's kind of needs to make its hole like so. So that's not, that's through, so that ready to attach. And the funny thing is, I see this doesn't have an insert like that does, that at the bottom there, the little insert. It's quite an interesting. So would I just stick this in with some sticky glue, some solid glue? I say yes. I say yes. Foam tack this tomorrow. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. They're drying nicely. If my machine wasn't so noisy, I would turn it on because it's king gold. Right, so a small splodge-ish of B and some of A. Doing it backwards as usual. Boof. That looks like a nice splidge and splodge. If you're not watching what I'm doing here, I'm splidgy splodger, and now I go for my complete mixing. So yes, so I mean, because we want it as solid as possible, because this thing does, you know, it's a belly lander. It doesn't have to be. You can purchase the wheels for it. You know, but there's springy wheels except for the front, just wire wheels, and you know, this plane just screams out belly lander to me. Why? Don't know. It just does. It's just pretty awesome. Oh, and the dog's out in the garden, so we're going to have a bit of the dog barking in the background. Yes, all these fun effects that I put on this video. You're just thinking, how does this guy do it? You know, on cue. There we go, and then you'll hear the dog being called into the house. Yes, there you go. Right, so don't mind the dog. So what I'm going to do is, there is a bit of sticky stuff down there, a bit of foam. Where I pierced a hole, it looks like there's a bit of foam in there, stuck in there. Let's get a little screwdriver, I think, the best thing. That's it, yeah, it's just where you prod that through. So always prod this through before you glue. That kind of rhymes, prod it through before you glue. Good rule of thumb there, because it kind of makes itself a hole. So what we're going to do then is sticky everything over here. I mean, there's a hole in the bottom of here as well, so I don't think it's meant to be for rod. It was more like, you know, when there's paint in it maybe. So I'm going to get a good chunk of this on here. I should have mixed a bit more up, maybe. Maybe not. You might have got away with it, because I'm putting it on thick. Yep, more sound effects on the dog. So it's all good. In fact, I should have mixed a bit more actually. Let's just see if I've got enough. Okay. That doesn't need it to there at the moment. It just needs on the bottom edge and the little pokey bit. And I'm going to do some of the back. The back does need to, because that goes into the back. So even coat all the way. Just, you know, give it a nice coat. The good thing about this, I suppose, epoxy, is you can almost like paint it on, as long as it's not too thin, and then just pat it so it brings it up, so it gives it kind of an edge to stick to, if that makes any sense. Okay, so that is epoxied. So this is going to be the fun part. I've got to get us. Can you see? Let's see if I can move around the side. Come a bit closer. Okay, so what I'm going to do is see if I can just zoom that in a bit. So you push the first rod in. Hopefully the hole will be nice to me. In fact, I've got to. Is it showing? Yeah, it's still showing. Okay, so I'm going to just pull that out and just stick it in the hole, and then slide it in, and then wiggle it about a bit. Move that epoxy about. So then we have our rod sticking out there, which is good. That's what we want, because that's what does the elevators. And then I've just got to be careful that when you got it in here like this, that you line it up. You see that it wants to push back, so make sure you've got that lined up. It's almost worth actually just sticking this in. I've got a bit of leakage on the epoxy in there, so I don't really want to stick it in. Misses. You could put some tape on it, or I could just hold it for a bit. But you see what I'm saying is that I'll see if I can show you. I don't think it just wants to move out. You see that? Yeah. So you want it straight. I can have a look to see if we put this other one on. I don't want it, because you're getting a bit of bleed of epoxy through the bottom, which is good because you know then it's solid. But I don't want this to stick. So let me just make sure that putting this in, yeah, okay, there's going to be more fun and games getting that through the hole. There we go. Okay, so that's got in the hole. I want to make sure where that lines up, so I don't want to leave it in there because of the epoxy, but I just got to make sure that that lines up. So yeah, okay, so let's get that back out without breaking the foam. Plop. That will be tack. That will be tack. I can tack that. So I reckon maybe if I just put a bit of blending or tape there, or some sort of tape. In fact, I'll probably just hold it there. Just hold it there until it sets a bit properly. I'll probably put a bit of heat on it. So I'm going to stop the video there again. It's not a nice fit there. There's a bit of a gap there. Oh, you can't see it because you're not showing it. There's a big gap there, a bit of a gap. But, you know, what do you expect for the money? You know, it is a bit squished there actually. I didn't see that. I don't know why, but maybe blowing a bit of heat on it might bring it up. But okay, so I'm going to stop the video there anyway. I'm just going to hold this for a little while. You could get, I'm not really prepared. I didn't think about that moving over, actually, to be honest. But you know, it will dry. But you just don't want it dried so it's skew-whiffed. That's the name of the game. I mean, it is sort of slowly setting anyway, so I'm going to turn the heat on so it helps it set a bit, and then I'm going to leave this overnight to harden because it is cold, and then tomorrow I will continue. We'll just foam tack this, and while this is foam tack we can work on the actual plane, not a problem. And then we can start moving some electronics about and getting some electronics in it, but already it's looking pretty sexy. I think so. Not the best shot in the world. There you go, that's better. It's nice, it's just a lovely plane. You know, there's lots of lovely planes, but for the price, that's what I'm on about.